TWiGames.com.
Welcome to this week's episode of TWiGames.com. We begin with EA's big acquisition and layoffs, up to 1 million banned accounts on Xbox Live, and we discuss all facets of Modern Warfare 2 later in the show. But first, October's NPD results. Uncharted 2 took the top spot in games, selling over 500,000 copies, and the Wii came in on top with the hardware at just over 500,000 units sold. Brian, do we now have to refer to Nathan Drake's adventure as Charted 2 Among Thieves? Brian.
AC 130. AC 130.
Brian, we're doing the show.
Oh, all right. Uncharted 2 taking the top spot. Obviously, 500,000 is a lot of units to sell.
Yep.
However, I think it's disappointing. This game deserves way more sales than just 500,000.
Definitely. I mean, when we're talking about how much it deserves, this game deserved to sell 2 million in the US in its first month. Look, not only is it arguably the game of the year, it's arguably the game of the generation. And Sony didn't screw this one up. They gave it a great marketing push, great commercials. I mean, you can't get much better in the review scores. Word of mouth, it's crazy, but it was #1. We got to give it credit. And it was actually closer to 550,000. This is also a game that will continue to sell through the holidays. As people get new PS3s, they want Uncharted 2. So, I don't know.
Borderlands, surprising, it was sent to die and sold over 450,000 copies on 360. And they deserve it. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a kids movie. You know, kids movies get more pricing because the parent has to pay.
Yeah.
Borderlands, if you buy that game, you're convincing a friend to buy it.
You're convincing 3 friends to buy it.
Which isn't cheating. It's still good.
Big surprise, Demon's Souls.
Yes.
Demon's Souls, number 11, almost cracked the top 10. This is a game that's for a niche market. It didn't have any television advertising and sold over 150,000 copies. Great job to Atlas on this one. Great game.
And we have to mention Forza, Ratchet & Clank, and DJ Hero didn't sell much, but that's because they came at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And all 3 of those games are slow burners.
Yeah,
they're not going to come out of the gate fast.
No.
But
those games historically, they never sell a lot up front. They sell over months, and it came out at the very end of the month, so that's fine. However, DJ Hero, I'm glad that the numbers are low.
You're glad.
There's going to be some unbelievable deals on that game before Christmas, and to be honest with you, I might pick it up.
If it hits 70, I'll pick it up.
I'll pick it up.
But only if it's that low.
That's right.
EA announced that they will be cutting 1,500 jobs along with several games, studios, and facilities. And they also acquired Playfish for $275 million. Rich, is EA going to make Playfish make Facebook versions of Madden until the end of time?
Well, Brian, I'm not on Facebook, so I still have no idea what it means to have a game on Facebook, but that's beside the point. I feel bad here for these people. 1,500 jobs. That's a lot of jobs. And, I want to know, more selfish reasons, what games were in development that are cut now? Like, whose job was lost and what games are no longer going to be made?
Yeah, well, what's happening in Visceral Games? Arguably the best studio.
Yep.
They made Dead Space,
yep.
But that didn't sell well. And I feel bad for, Riccatello, because I feel like he genuinely tried to make EA make great games as a studio. And what happened? They didn't sell. So what does that tell him? Forget the new IPs, just do what we've been doing in the past.
Exactly. And this is a bad signal, not just to EA, to everybody. EA did like a 180-degree turn, okay? Everybody used to hate EA, they pump out the same games. Well, guess what? They started putting out good games, original games, nobody bought them. So now nobody's going to take risks. This is just mind-boggling to me that people complain, but then they don't go out and buy the games. Now, they had Dead Space, Mirror's Edge, and they have Kratos' Inferno coming out. No, I'm just kidding, Dante's Inferno. But, one thing I do want to point out is that, Riccatello was saying how he wants to partner up with Nintendo now, okay? Because their games, they put a lot of eggs into the Wii basket, and third-party games don't sell on the Wii. So he's saying, I want to partner up with Nintendo and show these people who own a Wii that we're legitimate. You can buy EA games too. Look, Nintendo says it's okay. Look for Mario and Luigi to be commentators in Madden 2011.
Yeah, it's good!
Another point, though, I want to make is that, they keep talking year after year. Third-party games don't sell on the Wii. Don't they know by now?
I know.
This isn't news anymore. Like, third-party games don't sell on the Wii. We knew that 3 years ago. This is like that story this past week with the moon. They just found a significant amount of water on the moon. Don't we know everything we already need to know about the moon? We were on the moon how many years ago? Decades ago. I thought the moon was done. I thought we knew everything we needed to know. In their yearly cleanup, Microsoft brought down the ban hammer on up to 1 million users for using modified consoles to play pirated games. Brian, was Lil Wayne banned?
Well, Rich, I think they're taking a bit of Lil Wayne's advice and drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Little PSA for everyone out there. There's a flood of used 360s on Craigslist and eBay. I wouldn't quite buy them because they might not work.
To that point, Brian, when Microsoft bans a user, they're banning the console. You can no longer use that console. Do you know what that means, Brian?
What does that mean?
Conspiracy theory. Microsoft waited until holiday season, right before Modern Warfare 2 came out, banned 1 million users. Do you know why?
Why?
Because these people are dying to play Modern Warfare 2. Guess what? They have to go buy another 360 in order to play it. Expect Microsoft sales in November to skyrocket.
So you think this is an artificial way of pumping sales?
I think this is not an artificial way. This is a very official way of pumping sales. And like, you know, don't think for 1 second that they didn't plan this before. They can throughout the year they can continuously ban users, right? But no, they banned 1 million people right before Modern Warfare 2 came out. One, this created a huge news story, okay? So people are like, oh, I guess 360 is the system that I can, you know, modify and actually pirate games on. And two, these 1 million people are now consoleless, unless they have a PS3 as well. And in order to play Modern Warfare 2, they gotta buy the system.
Or they're fighting piracy.
Or they're fighting piracy.
More rumors in it all. Apparently it's coming in November 2010. We'll have 14 games at launch and be anywhere between $50 and $80. And it was featured in Time Magazine's Top 50 Inventions of 2009. Rich, interpret these motions and tell me what you think of this.
I think that was a little weird, Brian, but Time Magazine Top 50 Inventions. Look, I'm not going to dog the Natal here because I'm going to give it a chance, especially if these rumors are true. I'm definitely going to give it a chance, give it the benefit of the doubt. But what did they invent? They didn't invent face tracking. They didn't invent voice recognition. They certainly didn't invent the camera. So what did they actually invent here?
I don't know.
I don't know. But I do want to take this time to apologize to Michael Pachter.
Really?
Yes. Michael, a couple episodes ago, I was really hard on you. I said that your prediction of $50 for the Natal was ridiculous. I probably called you an idiot and all sorts of other names. I apologize, because if these rumors are true, you were right. I was wrong. Good going, Michael.
14 games at launch. Unless one of those games is titled Wii Sports,
yeah.
I really don't know what it's going to do. Halo Reach coming around the same time, perhaps going to use a TAL support.
It's going to have to.
Which is going to be great. However, like, what is the point of that? The point of the TAL is to get the casual market.
Yeah.
360 has, you know, they have a monopoly on the hardcore gaming market. They need to expand. And if Halo Reach is their big title, I don't know how that's going to expand anything. They need something like Wii Sports, and I don't know if they're capable of making something like that.
I agree with you on a lot of those points. You know, Halo is such a huge game, though. So if you do want to kind of explode, you know, the Natal into users' homes, Halo's a good game to do it. But those gamers already own a 360.
Right.
If they're trying to sell 360s here, they're going to need something like a 360 Sports or something like that. And beyond that, you know, no one knows yet how's it going to be without having anything in your hands. Does this even make sense? I don't know. But Bungie, just thought of a great idea for you. Halo Reach, Natal support. The wait is over, sort of. Final Fantasy XIII got a Western release date, and it's March 9th, 2010. Brian?
What a huge test for JRPGs. This is what everyone's waiting to see.
Yep.
How is it going to sell? How is it going to be? All those things, I have no idea. I'm not excited at all.
You're not excited at all. I'll tell you what, I wasn't hyped for Final Fantasy XIII at all. Let me begin by saying I am a huge, huge Final Fantasy fan. I own every single Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy. I wasn't hyped for Final Fantasy XIII. It could have something to do with the fact that JRPGs during this generation have kind of been lackluster in quantity and quality. JRPGs were a staple of the PlayStation 2 era, and I loved JRPGs. FF13 needs to step up to the plate and not only be a great Final Fantasy game, but it needs to reinvigorate JRPGs.
Exactly. Like,
can it and will it?
If it fails, no one's ever going to spend that much money on a JRPG again. This is such a huge bastion of hope for everyone.
I can promise you this: it's not going to fail. It's going to sell millions of copies. But the question is this: is it going to be good? I wasn't hyped for it, like I was saying, but now that I have this firm release date, March 9th, 2010, I am hyped. I'm telling you.
You're getting on the hype train?
Oh, man, I'm hyped. And that new, like, 6-minute, I don't know what that was, a trailer with some weird guy walking around, that was great. It hyped me up.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we discuss Modern Warfare 2, and we play a little pro or anti. Stick around, we'll be right